Welcome to our project submission on using supply chain tokens to support the reduction of emissions by the oil and gas industry. This is a global problem where more than $50 billion of natural gas is wasted through methane flaring, venting, and leakage by the oil and gas industry. The project is coordinated by the Climate Action Special Interest Group, with collaboration between open source strategies for commercial solutions to climate finance and investing, and Two Ravens Consulting, working on pragmatic climate action. Our solution targets driving climate action from different actors, from oil and gas companies, regulators, consumer demand segments, ESG investors, and sustainable or green finance. This includes providing tools to power the measurement economy for emission reductions, creating an efficient marketplace for environmental data, from data pooling and emission verification to issuing emission certificates as digital assets used by a variety of stakeholders. Our oil and gas emissions data portal uses Web 3.0 technology to help connect agents of the measurement economy. Is connecting to our services using client-side wallets to securely submit transactions. Account administrators can manage roles assigned to users in the platform. For example, registering an investor as a consumer, an industry member, certificate dealer, or emission auditor. On the main landing page of our portal, users are provided with a list of oil and gas producers, the assets they operate, and emission performance certificates issued to them. 3 emission performance certificates have been requested for the operator Chevron for the oil and gas produced in the United States. Certificates are issued using data points from a variety of sources. In this case, the admin superuser has requested certificates using data from a 2022 oil and gas benchmarking report produced by sustainability.com. Emission performance certificates consist of multiple tokens for the amount of production of natural gas and oil associated with various emission activities. In this case, the admin has issued emission certificates for methane vented, flared, and other fugitive emissions. Here we can see, in 2020, Chevron has been attributed 60,000 metric tons of CO2 equivalent from flaring operations. Another auditor, investor, data provider, or consumer may look to compare these emissions to other data sources. In this case, we can look at asset level data from a satellite provider using the VII-RS nighttime flaring detection tool. A user can compare issued emissions against asset level data or aggregate totals for a given operator. In this case, the data suggests that 0.07 BCM or billion cubic meters of natural gas were flared by Chevron in 2020. With this form, a user can request an additional audit for the emissions. In this case, the system has calculated 145,000 tons of CO2 equivalent from the VII-RS data source. This is more than double what was reported by the benchmarking study taken from this source. Users can also request audits using multiple data points from a given source. Emission auditors can access the Net Emission Token Network portal to both issue and process pending requests, including the two we just submitted. Auditors can then compare all of the performance certificates that they have requested. In this case, the kilograms of CO2 per barrel of oil equivalent for oil and gas production by various producers in the United States. These certificates are compared against the US average upstream emissions in 2020, with green representing companies emitting lower and red representing companies emitting higher than the national average. Finally, the auditor verifies the requested certificates and review the issued certificates. A user, such as the operator registry, can then view certificates issued to them. Token holders can then transfer products to consumers, tracking embodied emissions through a supply chain, or to participate in voluntary markets for things like responsibly sourced gas. Certificates can also be transferred to other agents in the measurement economy, like ESG investors, to comply with the reporting requirements.